Hey, thanks for whacking on that thumbnail. This weekend I saw Fences starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. And guys, this is with the K review. I'm Victor. And you know what? My girlfriend about 20 minutes ago called me and she wanted me to let you know something. That during this movie, I cried. She really wanted me to tell you that. Like, really.
With a K review.
It's VIC?
No, it's with a K.
Oh. So when I first saw previews for this movie, I was absolutely hooked. Like, it was that part in the movie where he's just talking to his son outside. He just kind of looks him in the face. He's like you. What laws there say that I gotta like you? Thank you very much. But it was really that scene that hooked me from the trailer, and I thought that this movie was really going to be about how he was going to interact with his son and how he was going to have problems with his wife and things like that. And about an hour into this movie, I figured out that this movie is much bigger, plot-wise, than I ever thought that it was going to be. Viola Davis in this movie does a great job as Denzel Washington's wife, Rose. She has that really sweet, sentimental side to her, and she has the compassion, and she plays off Denzel Washington so perfectly in this movie. You would almost think like they're a real-life couple. And the best part of this entire movie, really quick, is that they both play these characters on the Broadway version of this. So they literally took the Broadway version and then they put it on movie form. Now, we saw what that happened a couple of years back with the Jersey Boys, and it was like they actually took the Broadway play and that they put it right into the movie, and that's fine. You can do that, but it wasn't that great of a transition. However, with Fences, I felt like this movie decided to go somewhere different, that it decided to really explore all of its characters. Now, Denzel Washington actually directed this movie. Now, he's directed two other movies before. I think it was Antoine Fisher and The Great Debaters, and I haven't seen The Great Debaters, but I saw Antoine Fisher, and I thought that was pretty good. And that was one of the best parts of this movie, was that the direction of this movie by Denzel Washington is almost not perfect, but it's really good. Every character has their different angles, and he tries to go into all the different parts of all the characters, and that is kind of the negative thing about this movie, because there's so many characters in this movie. It's really hard to tell what you're supposed to concentrate on sometimes. But the one thing that kind of bothered me is that there were times that I didn't know enough about the story until way into the movie. Troy's character, he tells stories, and he goes in the backyard and he's talking with his wife and his other friend, and he'll suddenly say a story, and that story is incredibly important, because if you miss any part of his story or you don't catch on to it, you won't get the whole past that he has. Again, his son Lyons, I didn't understand how he was so intricate to the movie until you got a little bit more of the story from the stories that he would tell in the backyard. And it's good that the movie did that, because it did keep you interested in really trying to figure out what was Troy's past. How did he get here? How did he become this really weird person, and how he was self-destructive and everything. There are so many parts in this movie that are so dramatic and that really pull you in. There's even a part with Lyons when he's talking to Troy, and he just kind of point blank, right in the forehead, just kind of gets him, and you really feel that in the movie. There's so many parts that I felt in this movie, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed on how all the characters were kind of intertwined, and there is a big twist towards the second half of the movie, and it's right after Troy, he's talking to his friend Jim, and Jim, he's he talks to him, and then he goes inside and he talks to Rose, and I won't give away what happened, but it literally was a jaw-dropping thing that happened in the movie. It was the twist. And after that twist in the movie, it was interesting to see how things happened and how the domino effect started to happen in Troy's life, and how things just started to get bad and how he dealt with it and everything. And Viola Davis's character, Rose, I think Viola Davis recently won a Golden Globe for that, and she deserved it, because there were so many times in that movie, especially in that trailer, where she was
I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you!
That scene in the movie was probably one of the most powerful scenes that I've ever seen on screen. It ranks up in the top 5 of most dramatic and heart-wrenching scenes. And the entire movie is filled with those. It's not overflowing. It doesn't do it you get annoyed by it. But the one thing that does get annoying in the movie, though, is you don't really know where it's going to go. After that twist, there's so many little different things that happen, and you are going to hate Denzel's character or you're going to empathize with it. And that's what the movie does, is it makes you want to have to make that decision in the movie. Like, you want, at the end of it, you want to kind of walk out of the theater and be like, is Denzel Washington a jerk, or is he like the best person in the world? And that's what I really liked about this movie, is that it actually had a really good chronological order to it. Nothing was just thrown in. It was just done very, very well. And Denzel Washington, as a director, in a couple more years, I think he's going to make another masterpiece. I think that he will become a great director. This movie is almost there. It's not all the way. What I'm going to have to give Fences is I'm going to give this a 4K, but I'm going to give it a really strong 4K review, because Fences is something that I really did enjoy. Yes, it did make me cry. I really hope my girlfriend enjoys me saying that. But you guys should definitely go see this one in theaters for any price when it comes out on the Redbox. Make sure you rent that for $1. When it comes out on streaming, you make sure you rent that and you put it in your number one spot, because Fences is definitely worth it. And I hope Viola Davis does get an Academy Award nomination for her role, and I hope she does win. And yeah, thanks guys so much for watching my review. Make sure you give me a whacked out comment below and let me know what is your favorite Denzel Washington movie and what is your favorite Denzel Washington quote. And yeah, never forget, if you guys don't like what you're watching, you can always turn it off. But thanks for coming back and seeing me. Now check this out.